everyone. It's absolutely tanking down with rain here today, so I'm inside. I'm just putting the finishing touches to the workshop that I'll be teaching this coming weekend, which is the 10th and 11th, so I'll be there when this film comes out. But I thought for this week we'd like to show you where we went last weekend, which was Kilgraney House down in Carlow, because I was invited to speak at the Carlow Garden Festival. And my goodness, no wonder they call it the sunny southeast. Very different to here. We had perfect summer weather. It was beautiful. And we were staying at the beautiful Kilgraney House. So we thought we'd show you it because it's such an interesting place. Great connection with herbal medicine there as well from the herb beds that have been laid out. So take a look and I hope you enjoy it. I'll just get back to this while you're watching. So here we are in the sunny southeast at Kilgraney House in County Carlow. I've been invited here to give a talk as part of the Carlow Garden Festival, and I'm going to be talking about healing in ancient Ireland, which obviously included plant medicine. Kilgraney House itself is a family home, but the outbuildings have all been restored absolutely lovingly and meticulously, and you wouldn't think they'd ever fallen into disrepair. They look so amazing, and they've been restored for accommodation, so you can come and stay here. This courtyard just feels as if you've stepped back in time to a more magical era, and what I love about it is the fact that the owners have gone to the trouble, to the love and dedication of laying out herb beds, medicinal herb beds. So there are, in this courtyard, there are 9 different beds corresponding to the body systems. So it's just fascinating to see. There's a mixture of wild herbs and cultivated herbs all growing here as part of our heritage of natural medicinal healing. And my particularly favourite part of the garden was the cosmic circle, which was laid out according to Culpeper's astrological herbalism. Because, of course, for Culpeper, astrology was a vital part of medicine in his time in the 17th century. And here we have 12 beds in a beautiful circle corresponding to the 12 astrological signs and the plants that would be governed by those planets. And I just was tickled to see the 2 orbs that are suspended over the garden representing the sun and the moon, and I think Culpeper would love it as well. But then there's a little garden here which is a medieval monk's cloister. And in old Ireland, we didn't have towns and cities as elsewhere because we were quite nomadic in those days. But there were monastic settlements, and the monks, as monks did everywhere, grew a physic garden to help with healing. And so this is just a beautiful, peaceful place to walk around and to smell the herbs and to look at the different plants that are growing there. So the rest of the gardens and the grounds are open to the public from May to October, and they're so lovingly cared for. I don't know how Brian and Martin managed to do so much, but they've grown a beautiful heritage orchard of heritage apples and lots of other fruits besides. And it's just wonderful to see, and such a variety of trees as well. There is a Celtic woodland where they've planted specifically the nobles of the woods from our ancient Brehon law tracts. And it's just a lovely, peaceful place to visit and wander around, particularly for me, the magical woodlands. Just so restorative to spend a few hours walking here because, of course, we as a species came from the forest, and so to return to the forest is so beneficial for us. It helps our immune system. it decreases stress. So if you want to walk in a woodland, come to Kilgraney House and walk the grounds here. And then lower down from the courtyard where we were staying, there is a rose garden. A beautiful rose garden has been planted, and there next to the Siderius workshop, where Brian designs watches based on our greatest timepiece, Newgrange, there's a beautiful sensory or aromatic garden. So just to walk along and brush your fingers through the lavender and smell the roses is really uplifting. And if you're interested in these bespoke watches, do contact Brian at Kilgraney House or look up Siderius watches online. In the gallery, which is where I was speaking, there's a beautiful exhibition of Martin's work, pottery, ceramics, jewellery and silks. Just beautiful work, and this gallery is open every weekend and all the time during August if you want to give a call, and you can come anytime to have a look, and it's so well worth it. Just something for everybody here if you're looking for peace and restoration and absolute beauty. So our ancient traditional indigenous healing has been passed on and carried on up to the present day. I'm sure most people will have heard of the healer down the road who's the seventh son of a seventh son, and this is still quite a commonplace way to obtain healing, is to go to such a person. So lots of our ancient healing modalities have survived the passage of time. Their view of the universe or the cosmos was that everything was imbued with spirit. So whether it was an animal, whether it was a waterfall or a stream or a river, whether it was stones and rocks, it could be trees. Trees were venerated as our ancestors anyway. But all of these natural phenomena were regarded as being imbued with spirit, including the mountains. And in fact, our kind of indigenous spiritual belief of the Druids was that the cosmos was earth, sea and sky. So from everything I've said, you can see that our ancestors understood that healing had to be holistic. It had to address mind, body and spirit. So for our ancient ancestors, nature was the mother who provided us with abundance. Plants were very important because they gave us food, they gave us shelter, they gave us medicine, they gave us tools, they gave us our clothing. So plants were highly regarded, hence the nobles of the woods. Certain plants were recommended for wounded warriors. We can see from the law tracts that certain foods were recommended for pregnant women and for the wounded person or for the convalescent or for the invalid or for the child. As I said, everything in the universe, everything in the cosmos is alive and sentient and intelligent. So when you go to a plant, this is borage, you have to approach with the utmost of respect, because the plants they have the power to heal, but only if they want to, only if they think they can be bothered, only if they think you're deserving of the healing. So you approach them with absolute respect. You have to harvest them, adhering to strict protocols. One plant. So it wasn't as if, oh, I'm sick, I'll take X plant. You worked with the plants all the time to maintain your health. They protected your health when you used them or worked with them for maintenance. So you addressed them directly, and you had to tell them what you were going to do with the medicine, who it was for, and how you were going to use it. So, for example, So I hope you enjoyed that little glimpse of another part of Ireland and that beautiful historic house. And I'd just like to say again, thank you to Martin and Brian for their wonderful hospitality, and for Eileen at the Carlow Garden Festival for inviting me in the first place. We had such a lovely time away, and hopefully we'll get out and about a little bit more as the year goes on. So I better get back to this now because I have to head off tomorrow, and so I'll see you next week. Have a great week. Hey Brock, what are you doing in here? I hope you enjoyed today's film. If you did, subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. And have a look at the website danusirishherbgarden.com for more information about us and about the herbal medicine courses I offer and the Wise Woman Way training. And if you go to the shop, you can find the books, the weed handbooks and other herbal goodies. And remember, we put a new film out every Sunday. So looking forward to seeing you next week.